Hey, this is Ben Solomon, and welcome to this episode of the Techno Leadership Show. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about fear of failure and how it's potentially sabotaging your career growth. Now, where does fear of failure come from? It's a lot of the fear of failure comes from comparison. When we look at other people and feel like they are so much more capable than we are, so much more skilled than we are, so much more experienced than we are. What we at that point don't understand or know is they have the same sort of fears inside of them, and especially the imposter syndrome inside of them, thinking, ooh, when am I going to get found out, or when is all of this going to come crashing down? That kind of imposter syndrome and fear of failure is interconnected, and it's something that is always going to be there in some form or another. The way it manifests outside can be different, but that's where we need to keep feeding ourselves the results or the memories of the results that we've accomplished. If we don't keep feeding ourselves the fact that we have actually done these things that we think we're capable of, there is a higher likelihood of fear of failure coming and taking hold. And there is the other mindset of thinking there is no real thing called failure. Failure is just a concept that we have in our mind, and it's the concept created from what would people think if this doesn't quite work the way I say it would. We're all going to have failure. And in fact, the most successful people have probably had the most number of failures because they were willing to keep trying, and failing and trying again till they found success. And I've said, my story in previous episodes around, wanting to get into tech management. And I tried, failed. But every time I failed to get the job, I used it as a data point to go, what could I have done better? And there were some good interviewers who said to me, hey, you were good with this bit. Your technology skills are great, all that's great, but you need to work on demonstrating more management skills or more leadership skills. And I was like, okay, how do I do that? Well, you have to find opportunities to lead, to manage, to do things. And that's where I started, volunteering in sporting clubs, doing those sort of things, leading in committees in sporting clubs. And then inadvertently, I started the business on the side with the idea of, transitioning to business. The business didn't quite work. I failed in that aspect, but the skills that I developed from there, then I could use here in my career to then go into tech management, then go into tech executive leadership, and come to a point where my self-knowledge, knowing what I'm good at, what I'm not so good at, and figuring out what gives me fulfillment, what is my best qualities and things like that, to then focus more and more on those areas and build a career around that. Again, coaching is something that I enjoyed a lot. I've been able to help a lot of people with and seen great outcomes with, which is where I started putting more and more emphasis into learning how to become a better coach, and then coming into this as a side project as such, because I've coached my staff, I've coached people, my friends, colleagues outside of work, but now the next phase for me is come here. And look, again, there is that fear of failure that, what if something goes wrong? What if it doesn't go the way I would like it to go? And I have to just work on that and go, look, my concept of success might not be the way success encounters me. And it's the same sort of thing in our careers going in. You might, be aiming for the tech manager role, but let's say a team lead role comes up in another organization which doesn't have as much autonomy and management and the ability to influence as you would in a tech manager role. But the thing is, it gives you the opportunity to build the skills required to then go there. So your career is going to be zigs and zags. What looks like failure from the outside if you have a goal and if you're zigging and zagging, as long as you're making progress towards that goal, you're fine. Yes, there are going to be failures, or what are perceived as failures if you have a certain concept of failure. But if you are consistently aiming for a goal and consistently building the skills, experience, expertise, and self-confidence that's taking you towards that, even if you have a few setbacks here and there, you're still on the path to success and you're still succeeding in the overall. And that's what matters, at least from my point of view. So hopefully that helps you out. Hopefully that gets you thinking outside the box, gets you out of thinking about, oh, what if I fail, to a point of view of, look, failure is going to be part of my journey. And as long as I'm working my way towards here and I'm consistently making progress towards there and learning from the feedback that I get from the failures in between, I'm doing fine. If you get that concept, even if you get that thinking and the mental framework, I think I've done my job to, get you out of that box of fearing that you would fail in a position that is potentially above your capabilities. And you build capabilities that when you get in there, and when you know what is required and what's needed and what you have and what you lack, you will build those capabilities. So don't let those things stop you from pushing up and attempting to get to the goals that you have for your career. Keep working on it and keep, clearing your mind of, the potential of failure and the concept of failure, and reframing it as an opportunity to get feedback on what you need to do to actually get to that eventual goal that you have. I wish you all the best in your journey as a tech professional, manager, and leader. If you like this episode, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button so that you're notified of future episodes as they are released. I look forward to talking to you in a future episode. Take care.